Hello, hello. Welcome to panel discussion number 4, Transformative Leadership.
Transformational leadership is shifting from managing to mentoring, from directing to developing, and from controlling to coaching. I think that is the essence of it all. And when people feel safe and trusted and are encouraged to take the steps of their own, they will be extra careful to do a good job and move towards the goal. Because our basic human reaction to this is to want to show that I'm worthy of the trust. So I will do my absolute best.
If the leader is not taking leadership ownership, it's really, really tough for the team to take ownership for their role. It's a very passionate part of what I do to help leaders understand that if you are not reflecting ownership as an intrinsic part of your role as the leader, what you're probably accidentally doing is deflecting ownership. And if you're not reflecting, that means you're deflecting. And if you're deflecting, that's going to create the tone for the entire team. The entire team is now going to resist the idea of ownership, and it's going to become a CYA culture. It's going to become, how can I make sure that nobody can ever point to me and say, this outcome is your fault?
Emotional intelligence helps us to respond instead of react. So it will improve communication, and it also improves our results, because when we understand that there is subconscious mind, and the subconscious mind is emotional mind, and it causes the body to act in a certain way. So if we understand that responsibility of emotion, if we just receive information from 5 senses, our ability to see, hear, smell, taste and touch, and just react to the information which we receive from 5 senses, it will cause our body to take different actions.
I think it's so important, this emotional intelligence, because it can mean the difference between success and failure. And you don't have to look any further than Vladimir Zelensky for an example. When faced with what would seem to be impossible odds, he has the emotional intelligence to actually lead his people in a successful resistance to something which would not have imagined would be possible from all the doomsayers 3 years ago.
So we are talking about the vision. So to me, vision means expectation. So what does it mean? When we are moving towards a worthy goal, we are moving towards something that our heart is singing towards. So we might have some mental goals, and that might be affected by different things like social programming and so on. But when we are changing the scenario to something that is coming from our heart, what happens is that our vision changes. It is not based on the programs that is running on the background. It is based on our heart.
I would like to share a personal story. I used to run a company in the UK, and this company was producing glider rockers, which is like rocking chairs and with a stool. And when I joined this company, I had all the team, around the table, and basically the idea was really to ask, each individual, and I'll go back to what Dr. Annika was saying today. For me, each individual, they are in each area, they are the most really prone to come up with ideas. But in order for them to do this, they have to have the confidence that, right, the ideas are going to be embraced. And it's not like there's no criticism or things like that. So first thing is really to listen to each individual, to let people express themselves, come up with ideas. And there's never a stupid idea, right? It's like, hey, and then, the more you do that, and the more people see that you are genuine in really, in listening, then they will come up and, great things happen.
How can we effectively motivate and align our teams? And I don't think that we do align our teams. I think we invite them to join the vision. And I think when we're coming to this idea of it's, how well I communicate is going to determine how well people will align, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves that I don't know that it necessarily belongs there. I think that we really should come at it from the perspective of let's cast the vision and invite people to join. In that line, I think we also have to recognize that we are really bad communicators. Like, just as human beings, we come at this with a set of perspectives and agendas and all the things that we have, and it makes us really bad. And so we have to start. Marianne touched on this a second ago. I keep banking off of her, but we have to start with listening. And not just listening to respond, but listening to learn.
Empowering teams and building a sense of ownership. I think there are three things that I'll speak to here. The first one is people function better with clarity, right? So I think we have to have those conversations with our people that says, this is the job, this is what success will look like. What do you need from me? What do I need from you? You're co-creating clear agreements, impeccable agreements with people. We don't do that enough. I think that's really important, not just at the level of the task, not just at the level of the goals, etc., but also at the level of the relationship. Brené Brown says clear is kind, unclear is unkind. I wholeheartedly believe that. So I think that's the first thing I would speak to.
I think it comes down to three elements: freedom, the freedom to allow them the freedom of expression; two, to allow them the freedom of creativity, so they really create something; and three, the freedom of making decisions. Not all decisions need to come from the head of the company or the head of the team. So these are the three freedoms I think it's important to allow to share with the team.
The way I see it change, I will go back into being a parent, right? So as a leader, I said at the beginning, I strongly believe as leaders, as a parent, you are already a leader, right? So you wouldn't really say to your child, certain things. So make sure you don't say that to your employees or with the people you are working with. So change, I see change as something beneficial. I see change with enthusiasm. I see change with excitement. Instead of seeing it as, fear and risk taken, let's just try. Let's do it messy. It's just a case of trying it and we're gonna learn it. So it's not about perfectionism, it's more about progress. So let's face change that way, and then things will just, be much, much easier for everyone.
I got hired to resolve a technical issue because a project had been stalled for many, many months, and they had hired so many people. And when I got there, I said, "Do you guys know what you're doing?" "Well, we're doing this deployment." I said, "Yeah, but do you know what the true vision is? Do you know what each one of your little parts mean?" Because they just looked at this as tasks. They just said, "Oh, I'm just doing stuff." Yeah, okay. So I spent an entire day. All I did was to say, "Here's what we're going to do, and here's what each of your parts mean." It's like a piston in a car. If that piston gets burnt, the whole engine stops. And then all of a sudden they started feeling like, "I've got some significance here." "Yes, you do." "And I really feel like I matter." "Yes, you do." And then the director said, "How did you get these people to work? We've been stalled for 9 months." I said, "Well, all you told them to do was just take action." How many books and how many seminars? I've never understood that phrase. And so I said, they didn't need any technical assistance. What they needed was to feel good about themselves. Like they mattered. They actually could influence what was going on.